Getting live.
It's cool.
Living it up.
Take your time.
La Vida Loca. Hey, everybody.
Okay,
Whoever's
Ricky
watching.
Martin.
It's a good song. It's a good song.
Yeah, I remember when the music video came out for that. I was like, oh my god, they could put stuff like that on TV. Because I was like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years old. I wasn't allowed to watch MTV.
That's so
and
funny.
the Ricky Martin music video was on. I was like, oh my god, look at this.
It's so funny.
What the fuck is going on here?
I think the first one that I was like, what the heck was that? Was when I was like a little kid, and then Nelly took a debit card and swiped it on a woman's cheeks. And I was like, you know, at a point it's almost gratuitous at this point. I was like, I'm always okay with women, but I was like, okay, buddy, that's like, a little just a little bit too much for my taste. It's a little on the nose.
Between cheeks.
It's just very apt. That's very funny.
Not Zach Galifianakis's Between Two Ferns, but between two cheeks.
If I ever start an OnlyFans, that's gonna be my name on OnlyFans. Between Two Cheeks. It's a good one. I like
that is a good one.
I
like that.
I'll keep that. I'll put that in the dreamy bucket of ideas.
Yeah.
But yeah. So to kind of get everybody's listening. Thank you for if you're here. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you for listening. I made a point about that Final Mouse keyboard. It's full display keyboard. Has GPU, has a graphics card. You can load images to it.
Just so we're clear, GPU and the graphics card are the same thing.
Yes.
I'm just making sure that we're clear on that. And the fact that it does not contribute to the computing power of your PC.
Yes. Graphics processing unit.
No. I'm just saying it doesn't contribute anything to what your PC is already doing. It's not like you can use it to run games. You can't get higher frame rates with it.
If technology isn't for the point of me making myself a little better than everybody else, what's the point of technology?
Fun.
But what's more fun than making other people feel less than me? I mean,
well, I guess when you put it that way.
I mean, I'm just saying, since the dawn of the century, they've been putting gold in jewels and swords. Do you think that was for like practical purposes when I swung that bad boy?
I'll tell you what, I think if you go back far enough, they probably thought it was a practical purpose.
I mean, but even before that, they probably were putting designs and adornments on stuff before too. Like, I'm sure somebody went to blacksmith and knew him, and he was like, here, you know, I gave him just a regular sword, but you know, I put a little bit something special in yours. And you're like, oh my God, blue dirt, it shines a little bit bluer in the light. And you're like,
oh man,
blue dirt. Where'd you get that blue dirt from? Yeah, from that mine over there, Marseilles. But anyway, that's the point I'm making. I think from the dawn, I have a hot take about that. Is that humans are naturally competitive. So a lot of times in society we try to go against human nature. It's human nature to want better things than other people. Not all the time, not in everything, but it's human nature to excel and want more than others. Everybody's view of comfort is different, so to speak. So I'm gonna want some certain degrees. Like, for example, some people really, really enjoy the taste of food, and some people really don't enjoy the taste of food. So
I love the taste of food. Like, that's
some people. Yeah.
If you ever come up here, we're gonna make that a fucking eating trip.
Don't ever say when. Don't even worry about that.
Well, whenever that happens, you just give me enough notice, and I will plan out
a good eating trip. We'll eat this pizza in a second. Speaking of food. Speaking of that.
Speaking of food, you're gonna be eating pizza on the podcast.
You know, I shouldn't. I don't want to eat it in front of you though. I want to like put it to the side and eat it afterwards. I feel like that'd be more professional.
No. Eat it on the podcast. Come on, man.
Oh my God.
You can't do that. You can't let your pizza go bad.
They put it on my little doorstep, so I'll be back. I'll go get it in like 5 minutes. So one of the, I do agree with you on that. Like, I think I really enjoy the taste of food too. I mean, if we're gonna be obvious with ourselves, but
I fucking love food.
The point I was gonna make with that is like with seasonings. Like some people food is just like eating to refuel, and some people it's like an experience. Some people prefer music as their experience. Some people prefer high-end vacate. Everybody has a different view of luxury, is what I'm saying. So I think it's human nature to have your own version of luxury and to want more than other people. Because, like, for me, example, I'm not big on. Actually, that's a weird thing. Actually, there's nothing I don't like. I like all things. Pretty weird.
I'm not big on certain types of seafood. I don't like chicken. Or you're talking about like in general?
You're not big on expensive clothes.
No, I couldn't. I'm not going to buy something because it's expensive. I don't care about the clout associated with it.
Yeah, I like the look. And the problem with me is I like the look and wearability of stuff. And usually stuff that looks good and feels good is going to be more expensive. That's kind of what I'm used to. Now, that's not always the case, but
it's not. It is. Like,
yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Your underwear.
Yeah, those were kind of expensive. I'm wearing them today, actually.
Oh, look at that. It's a test run.
Yeah. No, but like, okay, for example, Scotch. I like Scotch. It's generally speaking my drink of choice. I actually can't stand Johnny Walker Blue Label, which is this like, that's the
expensive Scotch?
The quote unquote expensive like name, like everybody that like if you want to look like you like expensive, if you're cloud chasing, you're gonna buy Blue Label.
Okay. I mean, alcohol is subjective though, because it's very, you know, it's funny. I remember, was it you that? No, it was one of my coworkers. He was like, once you go above $50, wine doesn't really taste different. And I've tried expensive wine before, and I've had cheap wine. It didn't really taste different. But I can say with like sake or like rice wine, it tasted different. Like when it was aged or like it was different flavors they added to it. It was a lot more smooth.
Well, I think it also depends on why it's more expensive. If it's more expensive because of the brand, it probably doesn't matter. But like you could buy one of my favorite bottles of wine is like $15.
Yeah, one of my favorite bottles of wine is like same thing. I buy the same
it's not expensive at all.
Yep.
It's very, wine, I feel like, and also too, like there are tons of videos on YouTube that they'll like take alleged sommeliers, and they'll have them like taste test different bottles of wine, and they'll be like, oh, what was the most expensive? And they can't fucking tell the difference. Or they'll give them what they tell them is like $1,000 bottle of wine, and they start making shit up, and then they'll give them the same thing and tell them it's worth $10. And they start telling you how it's like how terrible it is and shit like that.
It's all grainy.
Like, all right, you're just making shit up now.
I think I agree with that. Usually those commercials, except for like the one time I know they weren't fake is when it's like Burger King or Wendy's, and it's like we gave 10 guys the new quarter pounder, and we gave other people a high end expensive burger, and they were like Wendy's was expensive. We told them that Wendy's was the expensive one, and they thought it was real. I was like, bro, come on now. Any human with a brain can be like, this burger that I got at this restaurant is better than like some Wendy's.
So you know what's interesting about burgers is like, if I want to eat a burger like a burger, I actually want a fast food burger.
Really?
Yeah. So this is something that's weird about me. I don't like having like grease on my hands. So when I start to eat, like if I get a burger, like if you're ever around me and I get a burger at a restaurant, like a real burger at a restaurant, I eat it so fast, and like once I pick it up, it never gets put back down, or I eat it with a knife and a fork.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wouldn't the alternative just be eat it with a knife and a fork?
Yeah.
I've seen people.
If I don't do that,
my mom does a napkin thing too.
Yeah, no, I don't do that. If I don't eat it with a knife and a fork, once it gets picked up, it does not get put back down until it's gone.
That's fair.
Because I'm also not gonna go through like 100 napkins wiping my hands off between bites. And Paige always makes fun of me because like when I do stuff like that, like if I eat a burger like that, there's nothing on the plate below it. Like there's no mess. It's like the burger was never there. And she's like, I don't know how you do that.
Did you make it vanish?
Yeah, exactly. It's like a magic trick. It just disappears. I can eat tacos and make them just disappear.
I do that same thing, but mine just because I'm greedy as shit. but we're not going to talk about that.
But no, like I don't like having to constantly like wipe my hands off. So I either eat it with a knife and a fork, or once I pick it up, it just, I have to finish it before I put it back down. I might put it back down like once.
I mean, it makes sense. I'm going to give me 1 quick minute. I'll be right back here, but I'm going to grab my pizza. I'm sorry. Doing this on our podcast.
You better hurry up. I want to see this pizza. I want to see this pizza from Georgia.
We're doing a pizza review. Okay,
we're doing a pizza review. I want to see what this pizza looks like, because I'm not gonna be able to taste it. But for anybody that's unaware, I'm from New Jersey, and we've got some of the best pizza here, in my opinion, at least. Pizza, bagels. What else do we have? That's holy shit. That was close to your. He can't hear me. That's unfortunate. How close are you to your front door?
It's like right there.
I thought you were going to be gone. Like, if I had to go to my front door right now, this would be like an excursion. Legitimately.
All right, so I never get big pizzas like that because I don't eat that much. So it's not going to look amazing.
Throw your headphones on. You can't hear me. Can you hear me?
Oh, duh. What am I doing? I said, hey, Samurai Blue. What's up? 09, I love you for being here. Thank you. We're doing, I just got a pizza right before stream, so we're just going to do like a quick little looky-loo for it. All right, so
looky-loo.
Look at that. I sound like my mom.
Right, what kind of pizza is this?
Pepperoni and sausage.
Pepperoni and sausage. All right, that doesn't look too bad.
You know what I'm saying?
That actually looks like a decent pizza, I got to say.
It's pretty good. I told you they're pretty good. I never get bigger than a 10-inch when I'm by myself. I feel like that's gratuitous to get like a whole 18-inch pizza and just like split that bitch up between 2 days, but it's fine.
Well, the other thing that you could do is get like a normal pizza and then just freeze it. Freeze what you don't eat. And then just whenever you want pizza, you can always crack that out.
What
just happened?
Yumi. What's up, little homie? How you been? How you doing, dog?
Are you talking to someone on stream, or are you looking at someone outside?
Yeah, I'm looking at my chat.
I'm looking because that's the same place that your front door was. I was like, is there somebody at your front door right now?
No, if they walk in that door, they get their ass beat. That's different. No, this is it's a really cool. I mean, have manners not eat food. I'm sorry. Apologies.
That's okay. That's okay.
Say yes. So this is somebody I met at work. She's really great. She likes anime. She cosplays. And I said I cook, and she was like, next time you make some chicken, she makes me some chicken. So that's like a little jokey.
Okay.
So that's cool. That's the homie though. You know what I'm saying? Somebody actually. Cool. I'll be at your front door if you had fried. You bet I'll be at your front door if you had fried chicken. What the heck? Make me nervous. What the heck? Can't be here. You know where I live? What the hell? But yeah, I mean, you're the resident pizza. Oh,
I mean, you know what's crazy is like I actually have to be in the mood for pizza for me to enjoy it, which is ironic because we got married at a pizzeria. But like if I'm in the mood for pizza and it's good pizza, I really enjoy it.
I'm kind of the same way. Like I think I eat pizza probably like once, maybe every 2 months. I'm not huge on it, but when it's good, it's done right. I feel like I like certain foods. Like I think about fried chicken. Despite how I look, it's a racy joke, right? See what I did there? I don't eat fried chicken that much. I actually prefer grilling. My favorite type of way to cook food is grilling. I feel like I like foods. I like foods when I make them, and when I make them, or I purchase them, I feel like I like the most luxurious version of it, or like the best version I can get in that area. When I make chicken, I like brine it in buttermilk overnight. I do like all the seasonings. I usually eat my chicken with like rice and like homemade biscuits or something like that. Some collard greens. So I go all out, but I'm only gonna go all out like once every couple months. That's why it's not an often thing you'll see me do that.
So do you like meal prep as well?
I definitely love to meal prep. Yeah, I do that all the time.
No, I'm definitely a fan of doing that because then you don't have to think. Okay, let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. And because Paige thinks that I'm crazy for this, but I could eat the same meal for like a week straight and not think twice about it.
If I really like it, yeah. Like I've done that with roasts. Like if I make a good, I always make a good like pot roast. Mm-hmm. I can eat the same pot roast and potatoes and bread for like 4 days before I'll be like, okay, I'm kind of sick of this shit.
Mm. Yeah, I could just keep going. It's a problem. Do they have good bagels by you?
Oh yeah, I live in a Jewish neighborhood.
Oh, they definitely got good bagels then, like real bagels.
I love those people so much.
Because that's the big thing up here. Bagels and pizza. That like you really can't get anywhere else.
And getting your car stolen.
You can get your car stolen anywhere.
I mean, they called it New Jersey Drive for a reason.
What?
You ever seen that movie?
No.
It's this movie about these two guys that they just go around New Jersey robbing cars. It was made it's apparently like in the 90s or 80s. Apparently, I don't live in Jersey, so I can't make this, so I'm not 100%.
I do.
They said that people were going around robbing cars and breaking the cars in New Jersey. So
I feel like that's pretty common everywhere. Isn't it?
It is, but they had like a name, they called it like New Jersey driving. Like if people just always taking cars in New Jersey.
I mean,
I don't know if that's true. I mean, like I said before, I'm new to your area. I don't know, so I could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was in the 90s. I can't speak to
everything
that.
was dangerous in the 90s.
Yeah, apparently I mean, I don't know about you. When I was younger, I grew up in the 90s. I thought, and I'm stealing a meme on this one, I thought quicksand was going to be a real problem. I know I stole the meme, but it's true. Like quicksand was supposed to be a much bigger problem than what I was led to believe.
Every time that made me think of all the Fallout memes. It's like, what's the real problem here? The government or the fucking nuclear zombies? Wait, they're like all those jokes they make about the Republic and all, like the Legion. I love that's like a whole inside joke about just those games. But actually,
speaking of games,
oh yeah, what you got, partner? I was gonna change too.
Did you? We do. First of all, we do have to get back to your Better Call Saul, but we'll do that in a second.
Yeah. Lots of Indiana Jones in your childhood. Snakes. Why has it got to be snakes?
Did you play the original Dead Space?
Yeah.
So I did not.
Love that game.
Have you seen the remake?
I'm thinking about playing it on stream.
So am I, actually. I'm thinking about that. That's like the first game that I'm like, okay, I know it's a horror game and I'm not a big horror person, but it looks reasonable enough that I can get through it, even though I was told that the original for its time was supposed to be one of the scariest games that had ever been made. I have a very funny story about that game. All right. Because it's, first of all, can you substantiate that claim that it was one of the scariest games made for its time?
It's in my top 5 horror games. Quicksand was a thing there. Yeah, I remember from Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I remember that one. Yeah, I remember playing. So I played Dead Space 1 and 2. I love those games. It definitely wasn't as scary. You takes a lot to get me scared. Like it's only a couple movies that really get me scared to a certain degree. And there's a couple jump scares that I was like, okay. But the scariest part of Dead Space is actually my mother. This is just segueing into my story. So this is one part.
There's no way to talk about your mother.
That lady could beat me up to this day. So she can take any joke she wants to. I love her. I love you to death, Mom. So there's this one boss you're gonna run into in Dead Space if you actually do end up playing it. So it's basically like an event where you have to run away, and you're not supposed to fight him. But I was used to just tanking everything and just beating his ass. Thank you for lurking.
So yeah, I was just reading an article because like I don't care about spoilers. Like I actually know. Wow, I just sounded like I was from fucking Canada. Just when I actually
a boot.
I actually know the main twist of the game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's been out for like a decade now, hasn't it?
Yeah, but like I don't feel like that game ever. It came out in a time where we didn't have Twitch really. And for me, it was also during like a lull in playing video games, because like it was after my PS2 broke and my brother was the one that had the Xbox. So most of the games were his, and it was before I bought the PS4. So like it was in this like weird no man's land of gaming for me.
Right when Arkham City came out, like I never played Arkham City when that first came out. It took me like I played it like 4 years after it was like.
So I still haven't played all the way through Arkham City. I did play, yeah, I have it on PC. I played the first like hour of it. I haven't finished it though. I have played through Arkham Knight. I played that. I got that right when it came out on PS4. But like, I don't know, something about Dead Space, like I'm not into horror games, but something about it.
You can, Dead Space is one of those games where it's not conservative. Like I feel like a lot of people that play shooters or conventional games that get into horror games get beaten by the Resident Evil effect, which is Resident Evil made this thing where you needed to be conservative with your ammo. So it was about being outsmarting people and not just like tanking through everything.
Right.
Which is fun, but I can agree to you, if you're not used to that kind of playstyle, it's very frustrating. You get frustrated very easily because you're like, bro, you're fighting a boss with like eight bullets. And it's like, bro, how am I supposed to beat this shit?
Right. So like I was never so I played through like Resident Evil 2 maybe. And I was never really like, the horror factor aside, I was never really into those games, right? It just didn't appeal to me. And then when the remake of Resident Evil 2 came out, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I have it. I haven't played through it. I've played through like the first 20 minutes of it, whatever, like maybe just past what the one-shot demo allowed you to do. And it wasn't even the idea of it being a horror game. It was just, I got bored. I don't like managing resources like that. And then now I know that technically you do and don't have to do that in Dead Space, but like, I don't know. There's something about the game that kind of like makes me want to play it. And
I'll genuinely say it's a well-made, well-done game.
There's supposed to be stuff that they changed.
It was a couple small things that they needed to change. Like I said before, it was the ammo. They needed to do more ammo. But unlike most shooting games, there's always a ready supply to kill. You can always kill win a fight. Like because of Dead Space added that. It's an effect that they did in God of War. I remember God of War did this too. In certain parts in certain games like this, where it's like a quick time event, or you're fighting hordes of enemies. Mm-hmm. And the way Dead Space is kind of set up is kind of like how God of War is now. The kind of similar front effect. But
okay.
I think it did the thing. Like I think it's the Leviathan axe. You can always use the Leviathan axe, right?
In God of War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No matter how much stamina, no matter how low your tools, no matter how much low your magic or any of those effects get, you can always use the axe, right?
You can use all of the melee weapons.
Yeah, but like what I was saying is that the point I'm trying to make is a lot of games used to have in certain times, if you didn't have this amount of ammo, like Ratchet. Okay, you know what a good one is? Ratchet and Clank.
Okay.
You didn't always have ammo for every gun that you acquired.
Yeah.
So there was, but then eventually they made it so you could have the wrench. The wrench, you could always use the wrench.
Right.
They added that effect to Dead Space. That was one of the first horror games where it wasn't just I run out of bullets. Oh shit, I gotta run around until this boss eventually gets tired. I figure out how to fight this thing.
Right.
You can always use one weapon and you can still use that weapon to win fights. You never don't have a weapon to fight with.
Okay.
Which it takes a little bit of stress off of you, because I will say it is hard to play Resident Evil, and it's like I run out of ammo. It's like I gotta turn Leon into fucking WWE World Stars and just like jump kick a zombie in the face, and then he's like his 10 friends are behind him. And so I know I'm not gonna win that fight, and I have to go back and I have to go back 2 saves to go get ammo. It just takes forever. And I feel like they intentionally do that to make the game longer. So when you're going back and looking for ammo, you look, oh, this secret area, oh, this secret blah, 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 or the secret blah, blah. People, that's how that stuff got found out. But before...
Right, because it basically forces you to have to explore every little nook and cranny of the game.
And I don't like that because, for example, that's one of the reasons I kind of like The Last of Us, but I kind of didn't like it because it was the same way. I was constantly searching and grinding for things to get. I didn't really do it because I wanted to. I did it because I needed to.
I feel like that's why I lost interest in the Last of Us too, because it like or as well. Thing. I didn't get the second one because it's a very. I feel like that trope is what a lot of horror games rely on, is the fact that you have the scarcity of resources, and it's like. That adds to the horror because it's like, oh, you can't actually kill the enemy that's in front of you. I don't love that.
Sorry, I was shooting. I agree. It was fun. You know, I just realized I had my soon I'll be right back screen on the whole time.
No.
Yeah, for like not the whole time, but just ever since I got that pizza.
Oh no. Was anybody able to hear you?
I'm sure they were. Can you hear me now? Wait, let me check. Hey. They can hear me. Talk. You talk?
Me? Can you hear me?
They can hear you too. It's fine.
Okay.
You know, the samurai was probably in here and was like, what the fuck is going on here? Look at this janky ass podcast. Oh, well, it is what it is. I don't care, guys.
We are kind of janky, but it is what it is. It's part of the charm.
I love me. I love you and I love this podcast, so fuck it. But, that was so good.
I would love to hear about your take on Better Call Saul.
Okay. She heard everything, well. She was here the whole time.
Okay, good. It's good.
Let me tell my Dead Space story and I'll segue into that.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's one enemy in Dead Space you can't kill. I didn't know that, so I pretty much burned up all my good ammo trying to kill him, and I was getting so mad. I was like, this kid is such a dick. And he kept regenerating, so I eventually called him the regenerating dick. So my brother was playing with me, was sitting there. My brother like had a trend. He would always sit next to me and watch me beat games, which is why he's in the games now too.
Yeah.
So I was like mad when I was like, bro, this will not die. So I was like, let me take a break and go eat dinner. And my mom was cooking dinner. My brother was real young too. My mom was cooking dinner and she was like, why were you upstairs yelling? And I was like, oh, this boss in the game was pissing me off. And my little brother was like, he was fighting the regenerating penis. Cutting food and looked up and went, you were fighting what? Yelling?
Out of context, your mother was probably like, what the fuck kind of games are they making today?
I was like, bro, stop fucking killing me. Stop fucking me. And I kept yelling. No, she probably heard me. But usually I don't yell like that at my mother's home. I was upstairs. I forgot she was home sometimes. And she would come upstairs and be like, can you be quiet? I'd be like, I'm sorry.
It's like, can you shut the fuck up here, please?
Yeah. I remember one time, so my dad was worse. My dad would just come in and grab me. Like I remember once I didn't, so like the chair wasn't facing the door. So like I remember I used to play Apex. I would get so mad. I'm like, bro, this game sucks ass. And then all of a sudden I fucking do like 40-year-old black man with muscles comes behind me with a headlock like, can you shut the fuck up? I'm trying to sleep. I'm like, yeah, you got it. I got it, Dad. You got it. And he's like, okay. And then he released the headlock and he'd like walk off after he just worked a 12-hour shift and I'm waking him up over a PS4.
That's hilarious. You're like, oh my God. My life just flashed before my eyes right now.
Because he's strong as shit. You know what it was? It was like the scene. You probably haven't seen the movie Baby Boy, but it was literally just like in Baby Boy.
I haven't.
All right. I need to peace out, but I'm already loving you guys. Def will be listening to the VODs later. Hey, thanks for listening.
Later.
Thanks for later. All right. So Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul.
I don't know if I like it more than I like Breaking Bad. It's a close tie though. It has a lot more characterization with Saul, with Jimmy, and the turning point was a lot more obvious in this than it was in Breaking Bad. Like in Breaking Bad, I could definitely tell the point of no return for him was a divorce. But in Saul, it was a lot more obvious with Elliot. Like that was his turning point when that whole situation happened.
Which one was Elliot?
The older guy he looked up to, and then when he died.
Older guy that he looked up to?
So Elliot was like an older guy, and I remember him. Cause I watched the whole thing. Let me look. Let me make sure I'm. No.
His brother?
Was it? I hope I'm not mixing names up. Someone died, and he was like looking up to them, and they were keeping him on the right. And then when that person died, he instantly kind of changed over to being like, "I'm Saul Goodman." It was like an obvious switch between the two.
Right. So,
was it Elliot? I can't remember. I think I'm mixing up names.
I don't know who. I don't think there's an Elliot character in Better Call Saul. Like there was his brother Chuck.
Elliot Schwartz.
Who? I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what? After stream, I'm just gonna show a clip. I'm gonna send a clip after stream to make sure I'm not fucking up. I remember the face of the character, but I can't remember. I'm saying the name wrong. I think I'm saying the name wrong. But I remember.
What did he look like?
It's like a white. I don't want to describe white people, but
just do it. Just do it.
It's a white guy. Oh.
Okay.
He's kind of like big ears. Like he's dead. He's Jewish. I remember that. I think he was Jewish. He had the typical, like, I don't want to say he looked Jewish, but he looked Jewish.
I'm telling you right now. Hold on a second. Better Call Saul.
I'm trying to like describe it.
I mean, feel free to be as.
I mean, if you saw me the guy that broke in your house, he was like with tattoos, I'd be like, sir, that could be any human on the planet, sir.
I mean,
it'd be a little bit more descriptive than that.
So now, for anybody listening, I'm about to get into spoilers for people that die. The people that die are Chuck. Technically, Hector got put in the wheelchair.
Did Lalo die?
He does at the very end.
Right. Yeah, that's right. He did. I just remembered that. I really like Lalo too.
Yeah, he was a good character, but there is literally no one named Elliot.
I think I'm mixing up with another show.
Yeah, I think you're doing that too.
I went on a binge. I finished Atlanta. I finished this. I watched Record of Ragnarok, and then I watched. I caught up on Jujutsu Kaisen.
All right, let me ask you this: how did the guy die?
Oh, I don't remember. I just remember. I'm sorry. I like went on a. This is all flowing together. Okay. All I want to say is the conversation we're having is that the point we're not going to. The point I'm mentioning to. I could tell more. It was more obvious in Better Call Saul when he was flowing into Saul Goodman, as opposed to him flowing into Walter White in Breaking Bad. It was a little bit more like the subversion of like I'm descending into this character was a little more obvious in the other show, which I attribute to have better writing and him probably having already done that kind of similar story before. All the side characters in both shows are amazing. I cried with Taco's dad.
Nacho.
Taco. God damn it, cheers. Nacho, when his dad, he walked up to me, he was like, he told him his son died, and he was like, you're all the fucking same anyway. Like, this shit don't really matter.
Right.
Like, my son's dead regardless of what your pity. We're going to get revenge and shit. Gus is still my favorite character.
You know what's interesting is that, like, I feel weird.
I really like Lalo too.
I liked Lalo's character a lot.
Oh, he's smiling. He's cool as shit.
But what was I gonna say? Fuck, I had a brain fart. I'm losing my mind here.
I think of the characters I hate too. I still hate Walt's wife the most. She's still 10 out of 10 worst characters ever.
Skyler.
Fucking hate Skyler.
Okay, so I had a huge problem with the pacing of Breaking Bad. Like I felt like it was. Keep in mind, you're talking about a show that spans 5 seasons, 10 to 12 episodes a season, and it only covers, with time skips, less than 2 years.
Yeah. I noticed that about a lot of, and let me make this a hot take. This is kind of a hot take about older TV shows. So I've been on a trend of watching some, like I just rewatched a bit of Sons of Anarchy. I think I'm going to rewatch all of it. I rewatched Shields. I rewatched Lost, bits and pieces of Lost. I rewatched Heroes. A lot of TV shows that like I remember like the NBC kind of style or like to any of those TV, they have really bad pacing. Like all of them do. It's not like I think it's just the way we wrote shows because I feel like they were trying to fill up that time slot and the way we used to do television before streaming. It's way off now that I know there's going to be streaming to fall back on. They're allowed to flush out those shows more. Where I feel like when it had to be on cable television, you can tell it's paced for a cable television show. Because a lot of those shows are like that.
Well, but like I felt like Breaking Bad was too slow.
You think really?
It did not.
I think Breaking Bad was covering too much, and then the end they just sped like 50 miles per hour.
But that's part of the problem is the fact that they changed the pace at the end. Okay.
That's what's interesting to me. It's glaringly obvious. I could tell he was trying to end it because it's just like done. I'm like, whoa.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
It was such a slow burn in the beginning that I didn't watch season 1 or 2.
It is pretty slow. But I mean,
literally, I started watching when Paige was like, "Oh, it's starting to get good. You got to start watching it." That's literally when I started watching it. Like she bit the bullet for both of us and watched the majority of. She watched the whole series beginning to end. I watched from like season 3 to the end.
Well, it's not a hot question.
Okay,
it's just a question. Is Paige? I used to have a girlfriend that was like this, but she's your wife. Whenever there's like something scary she doesn't want to watch, she pulls out her phone so she can like look up from her phone and like casually watch when something scary happens. She can go back and look at her phone, or is she a tough nut? She can just take it.
I don't think she's certainly not done something like that. Like where she takes out her phone and.
My mom and ex used to do that. Like I remember we were watching. One of my favorite movies, The Thing. There's a part in The Thing where this guy gets his hands ripped off, and literally I predicted it like it was magic. She said, "Well, it's enough for me."
Paige has never done that. Yeah, we don't really watch a lot of horror because like neither of us are very into horror. Her mother loves it.
You should watch Barbarian. We should. I feel like we should do a watch party with Barbarian.
Okay. We can do that.
If I can get y'all on Discord, that'd be cool.
We can use my channel too.
We could do that.
We can use my channel.
Oh yeah, that's right. You have all the power.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do. You have all the power.
So yeah, she watched the majority of it. She's like, I feel like everybody keeps telling me we got to watch this show. And I was like, yeah, I tried like 4 times to get into Breaking Bad. And I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And she's like, well, I'm going to muddle through the first season. And she got through the second one. And then it's like, well, I'm committed now.
My mom is like, I watched the first 10 minutes of this shit. I want to see it through to the end, no matter how bad it gets. my mom will get nightmares. My mother, like, the most random stuff will give her nightmares. But we'll watch it. I'll be like, why don't you just leave? And she's like, no, I already saw it first. I got to make sure they make it out alive. I'm like, why does she, but you know you're going to be scared. Why do you want to?
No.
Oh, so
I will stop watching in a heartbeat. Like I'll give it a full episode, right? Like if I'm not into it by the end of the episode, we're going to have to come back and try again. This happened to me with Attack on Titan, which I still haven't finished the anime. I know what happens, but I still haven't finished the anme.
No. Game of Thrones got it beat by like a small
Never. I have not watched a second of Game of Thrones.
Woo, boy, that's the word. I was so mad at Game of Thrones, the ending, I had to take a day off work. It was that bad. I stayed up in my bed.
Did you need your safe split? Blech. Jesus Christ. Forget what I just said.
Couldn't give it out, fucker, could you?
Could not. Do you need your safe space? There we go.
We're going to slowly do it right back.
Fuck.
Yes. Couldn't get me.
Anyway.
I remember I was laying in, whenever I watch something that like I really hate or I really love, I can't sleep. Like, so like, there's this one really, really good manga called Goodnight Pun Pun. And it has the most depressing, Goodnight Pun Pun. I'm telling you.
I know, it's got a silly name. I'm just making fun of the name.
It's the most depressing shit you will ever read on fucking paper. No, it's a couple of stuff that's more depressing, but it's one of the most depressing things I've ever read. I remember I was laying in bed before a day of work, and I came to work the next day. They were like, "You look like shit." I'm like, "Bro, what is life? What is it? What is human existence?"
That's like, questioning life.
And the guy at the cafeteria, he was like, he knew I like read manga and watch anime. He's like, "What did you watch?" And I was like, "Goodnight Pun Pun." And he legit came from behind the cafeteria counter and gave me a hug. He was like, "Same thing happened to me." And I was like, "Oh my God, bro, I know this."
That's hilarious.
Oh my god, it's especially when stuff happens to children. Oh, can't make it through stuff. But yeah,
I'll have to check it out.
It's a really long read, but it's good.
Okay. So,
or just watch the synopsis. Just watch
yeah,
just watch.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of the pacing of Breaking Bad, and also the thing that I had a problem with Breaking Bad is that when you look at that, like the show makes it feel like it's over a longer period of time than it is, and because of that, it makes it feel a lot more unrealistic than it actually is. Like the idea that, okay, you could probably pull this off for like 2 years before you get busted. But the show makes it feel like it's a much longer period of time.
What got me is how much money he amasses that quickly. Like, and I'm like, there's no way they're getting this much money that quickly. That, like, the clientele and requirements for that, and to even facilitate a lot of I mean, I have to believe in fantasy. But saying that, my suspension of disbelief did kind of break a little bit. It broke kind of bad. Because I was like, there's no way they're money laundering, drug dealing, clientele, getting in touch with people. That shit don't just happen like in a month or like overnight.
Right.
Like it felt like how in movies something happens so quickly, but it's like the same. They don't tell me an average a bit of time, so I don't know it. It felt like a movie version of real life because there's no way that shit was happening that quickly. That's how I felt when I was watching it too. I will give you that.
So
I'm not gonna have that comment. Sorry.
No.
What? Yeah. I was comparing it to this is a dumbass comparison. I was comparing it to when my friend was talking about it to Spider-Man 1. Spider-Man 1 is like a summer. Like him getting bit by the spider, Mary Jane, Green Goblin, dying, fighting, all that is like literally like a 2-month thing. And I'm like, that shit is more believable that happened than Walter literally getting cancer and like all this other shit happening within. I was like, there's no way. I believe Spider-Man became Spider-Man in 2 months more than I believe Walter imploded his life and got all that money within 2 months. At 2 years, that shit makes no sense to me. I was like, no way.
Well, like when you think about it, because that's the thing.
Yeah.
The fact that the show itself makes it feel over multiple seasons like there's this like slow progression and whatever. And like at one point I'm like, why the fuck is he still driving this shitty ass car? And then when I thought back, I was like, oh, it's only like 4 months after the first episode.
I feel like they wrote themselves in a hole with that too. Because did they say it's like did they say it was like a 2 years behind?
What do you mean?
When he flashed back, like, because I remember. Did they mention that it was like somehow I remember at the beginning they wrote that it was going to be 2 years. I remember that or must I'm mixing that up with something else again.
I couldn't say one way or the other.
I feel like it was.
All I know is that like that happened. I was like, this is kind of I didn't love that about it. Also, I think that the Jimmy McGill character is way more relatable than Walter White.
Yeah, I'm not a chemical genius manipulator.
Right.
And like Jesse Pinkman is not even he's kind of relatable.
He's not relatable at all to me.
Yeah, I'm not.
Period. Like the whole like like the way that he speaks, I'm like, nobody speaks like that. Nobody talks like that.
Gus is kind of more real than both of them. I'm gonna be honest with you. Gus is more real than either.
Than Walter or
like being a normal person and having a switch you just flip. I believe Gus would be more like what I believe a Walter White would be than like Walter White acting in the way he is.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't make sense to me. But then like Gus is like running a restaurant and then just literally going in the back and going, I will fucking kill all of you. Like don't do this. Like flipping instantly. I believe that more. But maybe
100%.
It's not even their acting. It's just the way that those characters are. Because they're both great actors. I can just tell that it's the way.
Yeah. No. It's the way that they're written. I think that the way that you see Jimmy become Saul is like a pretty relatable, and also the time frame. It's supposed to happen over like.
His girl was hot too. No, you can't say. I can say that.
I could say that. She's attractive. What was I gonna fucking say? Now you fucking with my mindset here.
I like doing
the time frame that it happened over was.
You can't do something. You go, bitch. I can't do it. What are you talking about?
It's like, don't tell me what to do, motherfucker. The time frame that it happened, and like you see that, like it was almost a matter of he was always wrestling with those demons. They were always there, and he was always trying to be a better person. And then after Howard is probably who you're thinking of.
It probably is Howard. I think we're talking about the same person.
Was it in the last season?
Yeah, it was.
Yes, it was Howard.
Oh shit! It was Howard. Okay. When it was, that's what I meant. Like the turning point where it was like,
really, Elliot.
I was thinking of like a common. I was like, it's a.
You're
white
like,
guy
oh,
name.
what's a way? Oh, you white people are the same.
No, they're not. Okay, you think my name is Daquan Baxter? That what you think too?
Baxter.
What's my name, huh? Christopher the Third Jr. Like I don't. All Howard Elliott. I was like, what's a common white guy name that would probably be like professional? I was like, Elliott. That sounds like a professional white guy name.
Lalo took him out, right? Is that who you're thinking of? Yeah, that's Howard. That's
why I like Lalo, because Lalo is so interesting because Lalo looks like he's enjoying every part of it, what he's doing. I like that character. Like a lot of them look like they regret what they're doing. Like they don't hate it. They just regret the hand they're dealt. Like that guy, not Tuco. Is it Tuco?
Nacho?
The guy no, not Nacho. The guy that hit that guy's car. I know the old guy with the I forget everybody's name. The old guy that was bald, that was badass.
Mike.
See, like everybody has common names. I can't remember that shit. It's like I need the name to be like Laquarius or some shit like that. Like right. I'd be like, I'm never gonna forget that. Like I remember Lalo or Gus because nobody's named Lalo or Gus. But like Mike, I'm not gonna remember that. Mike, when the guys that were doing the heroin hit his car, I like those characters. Like I like all those characters.
Guys that were doing heroin. I gotta go back and watch.
I gotta remember. I was gonna ask you a question. What's your favorite side character and why?
In that show?
In that show. They can have the smallest arc. Favorite side character and why? You know what? Do one for Breaking Bad and then do one for Better Call Saul.
So Breaking Bad's obviously going to be limited.
I feel like they're better quality though.
Well, no, it's going to be limited because of the fact that I didn't watch the whole series.
Oh.
Favorite side character. Define side character.
Not main in the plot. They can have an episode dedicated to themselves. Or I could just say anybody that's not Walter or Skyler or Jesse or Saul. Good. Jimmy.
Hank.
There you go.
I mean, here's the thing.
Okay.
He's really the only other side character that there is to like. Because I
like Lalo. Lalo's a piece of shit.
But no. But like Gus is not a side character.
Technically, Gus is a side character.
He's not a side character though.
You don't. I mean, just because he rotates in like technically Sakura is a side character. She's not the main. She's not Naruto or Sasuke.
But like you're talking about that. Then is Madara a side character?
I mean, he's okay. Okay, because an antagonist can't be a side character. An antagonist is an antagonist. Would you count Gus as an antagonist, though?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fair. You know what?
He's absolutely the antagonist at one point.
So I'll give you Hank then. Okay, so what's your favorite antagonist?
Well, antagonist. I think. Let me back up. I think Saul has to be my favorite side character.
That's interesting.
In Breaking Bad. It's just the idea of him. I've known people that are like that. And it's just, there's something relatable about him. Like, it's like, he's just this fucking used car salesman of a human being.
I like how their first interaction is, one of the things I like is that Walter doesn't bargain with people to a degree. He kind of tells you what he's going to do, and either you're along for it or he's just going to kind of do whatever the fuck he wants to do anyway. He kind of just reasons with, like, even his meeting with Gus. That was like, he's like, I want you to do this. I attribute that to kind of like bargaining, but it was more like him telling you this is what's gonna happen and you're gonna do it because I'm Walter White. Fuck you. Either he was very about the whole either you get in or get down kind of mentality, which you kind of need that kind of confidence to run business. Whereas Saul was looking always, even when he was down and out, was kind of always looking at like, how can I fucking get around this in a way? How can I finagle my way around this situation? Which I do like that bit of his character.
Yeah.
I like, it is relatable to how crafty and how like, he's like, he never is not like, it reminds me of how like they used to write Han Solo. Like a smuggler, like I'm there's always a deal or some kind of way to finagle myself out of this situation. I'm never just always out. I like that.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. So yeah.
Maybe that's just my interpretation of it.
No, I agree with that. I mean, so favorite antagonists, the only ones for Better Call Saul that I know of were actually I mean, it's between Gus and the Uncle
Salamancas. Why do I remember? See, I remember their names. The Salamancas antagonists?
Well, I mean, Hector Salamanca was Ace Ventura's landlord, so how could you forget it?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not kidding. The same actor.
It is?
Yeah. You're like, oh yeah, that's right. It's like, no, I'm not kidding. The guy that played.
I'm thinking about that movie. I was just tripping. I was listening to. I was like, Ace Ventura. I was like, you're talking about the Pet Detective. I was working it through while you were talking, and I was like, wait a minute. It is his landlord.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I don't want to be this guy, but like Hispanic and Black movies recycle the same actors like in every movie. The only person I didn't see in any of the Better Call, I was so used to seeing the same actors. I was like, where's Danny Trejo? I was like, I know you're gonna have a character here. I'm so used to seeing you in these kind of shows. I was just waiting for him to pop up, and I was like, where's he at? Like, this is your lane here. You need.
That's hilarious.
And tell me I'm wrong because they always.
No, you're not wrong at all. You're not wrong at all.
It's the same thing with his name is Bokeem Woodbine. He looks like evil Dave Chappelle. He's in every Black movie. He's like literally every Black movie is Bokeem Woodbine.
Hold on, I gotta look this guy up.
He looks like evil Dave Chappelle.
How do you spell that?
Bokeem?
Yeah.
I don't know. Ask him. Give me a second. I'll look it up.
No, that's fine.
Bokeem. Bokeim. Is it Bokeem?
Okay, yeah,
Woodbine?
Here we go.
He looks like evil Dave Chappelle.
Oh my God, he is an evil Dave Chappelle.
That's what I'm saying, right?
I know who that. Yeah, like I've seen him and stuff, but like that's 100% an evil Dave Chappelle.
That's what everybody says he looks like.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
What the fuck was he in that I was watching recently?
Dead Presidents?
No. Let's take a look at his filmography. Let's see. I did not. No.
He was in
A Wall to Breathe, Fifth Commandment, Freeway. No. I know who he is, but like he was in Riddick. So much stuff.
He was in Riddick?
Yeah, what? Apparently he was in Riddick. Let's see, The Rock. Yeah, he was not in anything that. You know what's weird is I feel like this is not a complete filmography. Yeah,
I feel like he's probably, like I'm telling you.
I've seen him in something recently.
Yeah, if it's a Black director, he's damn near been in that movie. It's like they're like contractually obligated to put him in that movie. Like he's a Black guy directing this movie. Bokeem Woodbine, you gotta have him in there. It's just he comes with the room.
100% evil Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, it's like if you do a Batman movie, you gotta have Hans Zimmer. It never.
Wait, I gotta look up who that is.
Hans Zimmer. He does all musical scores.
Oh, wait a minute. Is this? No, you know who Hans Zimmer looks like?
Who?
He looks like fucking Chuck, his brother.
He does come. Now that I think about it,
he fucking looks like Chuck. I was like, no.
It's funny how that's a weird circle effect of that conversation. He kind of does. Now that I think about it.
Yeah. Anywho, so I guess Hector, or not Hector, Gus would have to be my favorite antagonist in Breaking Bad. You know what's interesting?
I'm just funny about Gus being an antagonist because, I guess technically, yes, he is.
He's absolutely an antagonist. Like, what else would he be? He has to be the villain. He's not the hero.
He damn sure ain't.
It's interesting because in a show like Breaking Bad, there's nobody that's really good. The closest you get to good is Jesse.
Well, Jesse's not good. Jesse's just manipulatable. That's a word.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. He's the closest you get to good out of the main characters.
Well, is ignorance really good, or is it just ignorance? Like, he's too stupid to be... Right. He's just too stupid to be at a higher point than any of the rest of them.
Right.
Not that there's nothing wrong with that. I really like the character.
He has slightly more of a moral compass than anybody else in that any of the three like major players.
I ain't gonna lie, when Walter was cussing him out, I did feel bad for Jesse. That was like some old school. You're stupid. I was like, bro, can you like chill the fuck out? I was like, damn, Jesse did not deserve that.
And then in Better Call Saul, the favorite side character. I mean, I don't know if you would count Chuck as a side character.
Yeah, I mean, he's not really. He's in the story, but he's not. The story doesn't really revolve around Chuck. I guess you can kind of count Chuck.
Okay, so I would say Chuck and Lalo.
Yeah, Lalo. I might name my dog Lalo. Lalo is really fun. Like, I don't know why, but I think it's just how irredeemable he is. Like, he doesn't seem to care about what he's doing.
Right, like he's so evil that it's just like, yeah, I'm in it. I'm in it to win it.
I think they make a meme of that scene every time on TikTok, but that part when he goes to that guy's house and they pull out that gun and he's just in the car smiling. I'm like, I love you, man. I love you, Lalo.
Oh yeah. Where he? Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure I know which one you're talking about.
I just love him. I love him to death. I like irredeemable evil villain character. Like there's no like. I just saw Puss in Boots. Jack Horner is like my favorite character in that movie because he's like, you're an irredeemable monster. He's like, duh. I told you.
Which movie is this?
The Puss in Boots movie that just came out. Great animated movie, by the way. Great.
Okay, so yeah, I haven't seen it, and that's why I was like, are we talking about the same fucking movie here?
Go see that. Please go see it. It's so anime. I was really surprised. It's like really anime.
You know what movie I haven't seen it yet, and I refuse to pay $19 to buy it.
The Menu?
No, I've seen that.
That movie's fucking hilarious.
I thought it would. I have mixed feelings about that movie. Paige did not love it. No, the movie we'll come back to that. The movie that I was about to say was Bloody Night. Is it Bloody Nights? Something. It's the plot of the movie, or the premise for the movie, is David Harbour is playing Santa Claus.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. I was supposed to watch that.
So
I remember that.
One of my friends saw it and he said that it was like, okay, this is the best take on a new Christmas movie I've ever seen.
Silent Night, Bloody Night. I remember. It's a remake because I watched the original. I used to watch. I told you I'm a big fan of like shitty horror movies.
Yeah.
And one day there's an original, but it's not like. It's like it looks like the Zodiac Killer. If the Zodiac Killer just looked like Santa Claus, and I was like, "Oh, this isn't bad. This is kind of just brutal." And
well, but I was like, it's more really like he's defending people. He's not bad.
No, the old one is like that. I haven't seen the new one. The old one it looks like a found footage movie, and it's just a guy in a Santa Claus costume attacking random people on the highway. Like he'll be like Santa and just stab people, and like it's like the movie Zodiac, and I've seen that, and I remember what that's like I said, it takes a lot to scare me. That shit bothered me because I was like, yo, that nigga just eating a breakfast with his girlfriend. That motherfucker just cut his head. I'm like, yo, this shit is real like that. like ever since then, like even to this day, like I'm a 6'2", 260-pound guy. I go to the gym 3 days a week. Like I'll be locking my doors and shit. Be like, bro, you might come up. Stab me and shit. Like shit like that really scares me. But
right.
I'll watch it because I want to see.
I haven't seen it yet because I'm not gonna.
Barbarians 10 out of 10 for me. That shit. Right. Wow. Best dumb horror movie in the last 5 years. It was just blah. Delicious. Good. The best part of the menu. It was just when.
Yeah, I mean, what did you think of the menu?
I've been in here for 15 years. She ain't never gonna get me. She ain't never gonna get this motherfucker. She reached to the fucking. Oh my god. I can't wait. But anyway, the menu.
Yeah.
The menu is really pretentious. I like it, but it feels like a movie reviewer said this, and I don't want to like take people's ideas, but he was like, I hate when people make movies about rich people and complain about rich people, because they always do it in like a really like shallow point of view way. Like it just felt like, oh, we're restaurant people and we hate people for being pretentious and that. And I was just like, it's okay. And I get the point of the movie, and I liked all the food porn shots. I liked the girl with the hamburger. I liked all the actors, but it just felt like it feels like pretentious. And I don't know why. It feels kind of preachy. And I don't hate it. It just feels weird. I mean, maybe that's just me. It's just kind of a taste thing with me. I don't like preachy movies. The same way I'm like when it's too much military in my movie, unless it's a war movie, and the military are like gods on earth, I'm like, okay, guys, like I get it. Just have my recruiter come up to my house. You don't need to like shove this shit down my throat here. I understand shit like that. Don't be too obvious with your like messaging. That's all I'm saying.
Well, one thing that I will say about the menu is that it does put in the message that I took away from it is that you should enjoy when you go out to eat more than we probably do.
That is true. I took, like I said, the lesson I got from it was kind of similar to, don't be an asshole and think about the people that you're stepping on, or like, you know what I'm saying, people below you working these jobs. But it's also like the way they portray like snobby people in these movies, they're like irredeemable.
Right.
They're like all like weak-willed, spineless.
Yeah,
why would I think of my waiter? You're not human. No. Like nobody acts like that.
You know what? I've not witnessed this personally, but I know of people who've worked with others who were essentially like the rich couple in that movie, where it's like they do things just because, not like the fucking finance bros or something like that. It's more like the
old school money,
like the old school, like I've got a fuck ton of money and I'm better than you because of it, so I'm just gonna do whatever the fuck I want. Like I've seen people like when they're ready for a check, they start like snapping for the waiter.
I told you, you should take your uniform off. White people, but people like, I'm gonna say white people. It's not white people. It's rich people. Don't get confused. That's racist. Because rich black people are assholes too.
You racist motherfucker.
No, I've dealt with rich. You know what's funny is that is one of the most quantifying things. I'm still gonna rub back to the menu too. Is that it's funny how money does change people, because I can definitely say, out of anything that makes us human, is that money will always make people assholes. Because I have work jobs, and I was saying this to this one of the people. I think the girl that was just in here on the stream. I told a story about the guy that was like, "Hey boy, can you come help me with this?" And I was like, "What the fuck?" And like I was like, "Why?" He was like this rich guy. He was like, I used to work at a soda job.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted something on the bottom. And he was like, "Grab that from me real quick, boy." And I was like, "What?" And I was like, I was giving people the chance, like maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I didn't hear boy. Maybe you were like, some other shit I didn't hear. And then I give him the chance and he said it again. And I was like, I took my shirt off and I was like, you know, I don't fucking care about this job. Don't call me that shit. And he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." It's like, when they know you don't give a fuck and they'll beat their ass, then all of a sudden the shit flips. But
that's an interesting thing. Because like,
what you got?
No, just like the whole using boy as like a derogatory. It's like an interesting like condescension.
It's interesting because to me it can be a term of endearment, but like all my interactions with people, like I said before, I try not to look at I joke and play with you, but I really try not to look at everything that goes on with different people, or like something I get offended by through the lens of race.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I do feel that when something that has happened to me, I try to look at it. I had to look at it in both perspectives. I go, okay, look at it as Jairus the person, or look at it as Jairus the black guy. And majority of the time I do overreact.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some that was a little like, it was a little on the nose. Like, boy, late, like people call my mom girl at the hospital. Hey girl, can you come? And my mom's like, I'm a grown ass woman with kids. Like, I pay bills.
See, you know what's interesting about that is that I don't feel like that has the same level of negativity to it that boy does.
To her it does, but to me it doesn't. That's the thing. That's what I said that last time about that too. Is that I can't take I can't be offended for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't understand what's going to affect you, so I can't respond like because I don't want to be that guy that's like telling my mom like just get the fuck over it. It's not that, like it's not comparable to me, but like it's not in my mind. It's not as impactful as it is to me. But sure. I'm not going to downplay what you're going through. And it's like I said, the same thing with like everybody else going through something. And I think one part of that in culture we miss a lot is that we don't have that nuance with people's trauma. Like I would never, if you were going through something, I would never be like, I mean, I would probably be like, pull your skirt up. Come on now. But after I told you that shit, I'd be like, it's fair. Same thing you should probably tell me. Pull your skirt up.
Listen, clean the sand out of your vagina. That's my favorite phrase.
Take your tampon out, buddy. Come on now. We're gonna get canceled.
Yeah, it's gonna happen at some point. If we ever blow up, we're 100%.
They're gonna archive this. They're gonna be
no. We have to hope that we hit that point where like it doesn't matter. Yeah, maybe. Like quickly enough where it doesn't matter.
I don't really care anyway. I'm gonna be me.
No,
I'm
gonna
be me the day I die. But
yeah, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like we would have to, for the health, like let's say the podcast blows up, right? You have to hope for the health of the podcast that it blows up quick enough that it outpaces that. So like when they start dredging shit like that up, that it doesn't matter anymore.
I mean, I'm just thinking about Mr. Beast is out here curing fucking blindness and like they're hating on him. Like some of the shit I'd be saying, I know they're going to like dig a grave for me. So
yeah, I mean, people.
Did you hear about that?
I vaguely heard about it. I don't really follow too. So this is a problem actually for me. I tend to follow a lot more political stuff than I should, and I don't really care about that. I care about the political stuff to the extent of how does it affect me. I don't give a fuck what Mr. Beast is doing, for better or worse. I don't care if he's a horrible piece of shit. Like whatever, it is what it is.
What's funny? It's so funny is that this is such an interesting thing. Is that a lot more people are like you than you realize, and that Black people feel that same way. So it's the same thing when people come up to me. It was like, it's like, this is what this wrong way. It's like, did you vote? And I'll be like, buddy, I don't have a dog in this fight. Like neither of them are gonna do anything I want to do in this shit. And I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying it's like in like local court, not like in a big thing. I'm talking like my fucking mayor or some shit. I'm like,
you know what's interesting? Well, actually, so this is gonna sound.
They probably have more influence.
Yeah, and you want to know who kind of changed my opinion about that?
Who?
Dr. Phil.
I thought you were gonna say Ron DeSantis.
No. Dr. Phil was on the Joe Rogan pie. Yeah, it was a good joke. Fucking stink bug.
I'm on fire today. You know.
Hold on a second. I gotta take care of this fucking stink bug in my house.
Look at him, guys.
Okay.
You gonna stick beside your man? I'm gonna stick beside him. Killing bugs and shit.
Fucking murdering bugs on stream. Actually, no. I just knocked them all out of my like. He was like crawling on my steering wheel, the fucking steering wheel, and it was distracting me because he was like moving.
There was a meme I saw. It was about Ron DeSantis. I'm sorry to cut you off. Continue what you were saying.
No. He made it a point to say like it's more important that you vote in local elections than it is even. It's important to always vote. But it's important, especially at a local level, because they can have a direct impact on the things in your everyday life. Like,
I would just move. I feel like that's my pro solution.
Yeah, I bought it. Paige and I own where we live. We're not just gonna pick up and fucking move.
I'm young and hustling. You know, so I can do that.
Yeah,
it's different points in life though. Like my point in life is different. My perspective on life is different than like yours. Like you're a married man with an amazing body. You know what I'm saying? You 10 out of 10. I've seen it.
Hardly.
Joking. But and I'm like,
just for everybody listening, he's wrong. Anyway, proceed.
I can't be crass and joking. I'm so sorry, guys. It's just I have to make fun of him. I can't do every 5 seconds. If I don't make fun of Falco, I will literally get a heart attack. It's a condition. It's how I will literally implode. But we have two different points in life, so our perspective on things is different.
Mm-hmm.
I fundamentally understand what you're saying, and I don't, to a point, disagree with you. Because I do probably think circuit courts and local government are going to have a direct influence on you. But my perspective on a lot of things is just fucking move. Like, the life I could live in California versus the life I can live in New York versus the life I can live in Nevada versus the life I can live in Michigan are all vastly different things. So I feel like America has enough point, in my opinion, at this point in my life, where I can just, if I don't like it somewhere, I can just pick up and fucking move somewhere. I've afforded myself that luxury.
Yeah, but no. It goes beyond that. Everybody, though. It goes beyond that, though.
What'd you think? Okay, what you got?
So, like, the point that he was making when he was saying this was that, like, it's the quality of, like, your local, who appoints policy for the local police department, the local animal control facilities, zoning, what gets built. Like, if your solution,
bitch. Like,
yeah, but if your solution is, if I don't like the way the direction of town is going in, I'm just gonna move. If that's your solution, always, what's gonna end up happening is you just keep walking away from the problem. Eventually, you have nowhere to go, except for back to where it fucking started. Like, look at California. There's a bunch of fucking crazy people running that state, and
they just leave.
And the people that had right, well, they just leave, and nobody wants to live in California.
Fucking drain now too.
No. So fortunately, I will say this: the only portion of Texas that's kind of like deteriorate. You could sort area. Austin. Houston is
really?
Not. No. They're all moving to Austin.
I thought they were all moving to Houston.
No, Austin.
Okay. Oh, the government memes are funny though. When I feel like it's when I don't have a dog in this fight I can laugh at. It's not. It's like, I can't laugh if I'm on the plantation, but if I'm outside the plantation looking in, I'm like, bitches, I'm free.
But you are on the plantation with the rest of us.
Technically, I'm still a slave. Just not that slave. Yeah.
See, the thing is that, like, and I think this is why I've become more. I mean, I still don't think that anybody that is running for that kind of office, they're not the kind of person that you want.
Well, they make that a point. They weed out anybody that you would actually want. They're going to literally money and lobbying and corporate interest it's like a fine-tooth comb of weeding out all the real people that you would actually want until anything that's left of anybody that you would kind of like them.
I saw an article title today. Mm-hmm. When I went to click on the article, it was behind a paywall, so I can't speak to anything other than the title. And I naturally, because of his past, I'm not a huge fan of Adam Schiff. He's the guy that, like, led the crusade on Trump. I don't love his mentality or a lot of his political beliefs. But if what this article is saying is true, I can't help but support it, because allegedly, according to again, didn't read the article, was not going to pay to read the article, but it basically said that he introduced a bill that would eliminate the ability for what they refer to as dark money in elections, which essentially means that, like, if you're going to lobby, like, you have to disclose where all your money's coming from, and it, like, makes it more transparent.
I don't know why that's not already a thing. Like, we all know that you're getting paid. Why don't we just, like, make it obvious?
Well, but if what I read was true, and if the title of that article really means that he is trying to, I don't know why he would do this, considering he has lobbyists as well. But if it's true, I can't.
Maybe they're good lobbyists.
Right? Yeah. Okay. If it's true, fundamentally I have to support it, because it's like, okay, I think that if on the nose of it, that's what the bill is meant to do, is expose, like, where money is coming from, who's in whose pocket. I think that's a good thing to be able to know that.
I don't know why that's not a thing. I mean, to me, it's like I said before, I don't mind America being, or the USA. We had this little conversation. It's so interesting. I don't mind America being, like, pay to win, or, like, the game being pay to win, or we're actively lobbying against this, but just be transparent about where you lie. That's all. And I wrote that same thing.
Whoa, hold on. Lie. Define. What do you mean by lie?
Where your interests lie, not like lie, like lie.
Oh, I was going to say, because that's a contradictory sentence right there. No, be transparent when you're lying to me.
So I was being oxymoronic. Where your interests lie, like where your interests are. That's all I'm saying. Like, yeah. And I it's interesting is that, and I wrote this in thing with Mr. Beast thing too, is that it's so much nowadays with the whole propose. It's so much like propose that this is a bad idea with no valid solution. It's that we've all kind of settled into that mentality. Because I can give you 1,000 negatives about everything we're doing, but if you ask me, well, what would you do about the migrant crisis? I'd be like, well, shit, I don't know. But I can tell you it ain't working. I couldn't give you a solution.
I mean,
but America hasn't proposed to us to be free thinkers.
You know what's interesting? I was thinking about this on my way somewhere yesterday. As a nation, right now, when you think about it, in theory, like if you speak to the extremists on the left side of the aisle, they want everything to be this spectrum of everything, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, if you don't agree to that, you're the enemy. And so what's interesting is I feel like in a society that is preaching, oh, you have all these options, you have the everything is a spectrum, anything and everything is a spectrum. It's very gray. We are more binary now than we have ever been.
True. And to play, this is so good. And to play devil's advocate, I can say that they're trying something new because at a point, the conservative way was always going to keep me binary. The hardcore conservative mindset was always going to keep me binary to begin with.
How so?
I was always going to be labeled as regardless of what, I feel like they're free labeling themselves because at a point in conservative society, I'm always going to be labeled as gay or black. I'm not just going to be this guy down the street that you work with. I'm the gay black guy at the office that y'all really didn't want to hire.
Wait, are you gay?
No, I'm not gay. I like women. What the fuck?
The way that you said that, I was like, wait a minute. No. Did I just find something out new here?
I was just roping in.
See, here's the thing. My personal experience, and especially having.
Let me question myself. I mean, I really like The Rock, but come on now. Henry Cavill and all them, but come on now. Michael B. Jordan.
I don't know, man. The more accepting or the more open-minded people that I've met tend to lean right. Now, I don't like the extremes at either side.
I have no dog in either fight to me. It's either be a pawn that sees me as a minority or a pawn that sees me as a minority. It's just two different parts of it.
Yeah, but see that's just it. Like the people that I know that are more open-minded and just like see people as people and just want to have a conversation and go about their day and whatever tend to, like, if you really start asking them, it's like, oh, if you're going to force me to pick a side, I'm going to tend to lean to the right. And the people that are more like rigid in it has to be a particular way tend, in my personal experience, tend to lean more to the left. And that's where I'm like, okay, like if someone's going to be more rigid in no, this is the way it is, this is the only way it's going to be for any topic, my personal experience is that they've tended to lean to the left, and the opposite has been true the other way around. And I can speak for myself where like I tend to lean to the right on like fiscal policy. Like if you're going to force me to pick a side, I'm probably going to lean to the right. And then, but like there are topics where to me, it's more like, okay, we really need to have a conversation topic by topic. You know, like it's not, there's no.
I'm 50-50 on it. because I always see myself as, I feel like a lot of, this is my perspective on Black people. We see, majority of us see ourselves on outside of the box, looking in. So everybody's doing the same thing. They're just wearing different colored suits. One suit just happens to be black and white. One suit just happens to be rainbow. It's all the same thing. And that's not saying that you're wrong. Well, because like I said before, your personal experience is your personal experience. And I do agree. And despite what you think, most Black people have conservative views. Most Black people have liberal views, depending on which way you lean.
Well, but see, that's just it. And here's,
everybody falls in that.
I think my problem right now with the way that we are as a nation is the fact that when you really have a conversation with anybody, you could pick a random person off the street. If they're willing to have an open-minded conversation, there is a very, very high probability that somewhere in the 90% range are going to be the opinions that you both share, that you agree with. And then maybe somewhere, one or two things you're going to be like, well, I don't know about that.
Like, and I think that way, but you're actually pretty right. I mean, I thought about that too. One of the, I think it was a Klan member. He met with the NAACP. Was it a member of the NAACP? It was like prominent Black groups. And they had a conversation like 30 minutes. And they're like, actually, we pretty much agree on everything. We said, I don't want mine to make some of yours, and you want yours to make some of mine. And the guy was like, you want to be a member? And he was like, sure, you want to be a member? And they were both swap memberships. And but that point made to me is that a lot of people are a lot more alike in mentality, even if they're on the extreme spectrums of something. You just happen to have different belief systems that fall in line with that. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're an extreme conservative, and this is really, really true, you don't think that much differently. Stink. I got Auto Incredible Flexi Convenient Order Management Plan. Everything is in your hands. Turn it on. Ooh. Because I'm about to ban this guy. But you're not that much different thinking than like a hardcore Islamic person. Like really, really conservative views are like just like that. And I think about that. What you're saying isn't wrong. Most people are pretty open-minded, and their ideals fall pretty in the middle ground on some things. I find when people pander is when it kind of gets like to like an extreme degree. Like I have somebody I know that she panders a lot to more conservative views, so I can't have a nuanced conversation with her about. And it's like I feel like I have to be like.
What do you mean by liberal. Panders?
Panders is like, even if I present a common sense point, you just go, well, they'll know what to do best anyway. It's not for me to think about. I'm just a guy. I'm just a person. The Conservative Party is never wrong. Like, They don't see the point. Like, I remember, okay, this is a hot one. Buckle your seatbelts. I don't believe in free healthcare, but I think the current system, what we're doing is wrong. I don't think people should die, but I don't want people to, I understand the point of living in a country and saying, like the same thing I said earlier in this conversation with luxury, going, I make more money, I want to get better healthcare. I agree with both of things at the same time. And I think there's no way to tell people that no matter how much money you make, we're all going to fall in line and go to the hospital at the same hospital and get the same care and be on a waiting list. That's just never going to happen here. Mm-hmm. To propose that would be idiocy. But at the same time, I don't think it's right that we're literally lapping the world in military budget damn near 2 times over, but I can die of cancer or like insulin resistance tomorrow, and like nobody would give me money. Like if I didn't have health insurance.
Yeah, well, I think that the main
we're spending too much on one thing.
The debatable issue there is not how healthcare should be structured. It's more a matter of where is the floor? Like, what is the minimum that we are willing to provide to everybody? And then if you want more than the minimum, you can pay for it.
And see, I think that's crazy. And I literally said that exact same thing to her. And she said, no, that's stupid. What we're doing is fine. If anything, we should be leaning harder into the military. Because I think I like having a strong military. And I was like, well, okay.
Yeah, but like the thing is, when it's tough to like intertwine those two conversations.
It is.
Because
I'm saying we have a pool of resources, right? Imagine a pool, right? And I say, look, I'm in the shallow end of the pool, kind of low here. you can literally take a fucking pail and just shift the water over and go here. It can get a little deeper over there so the pool evens out. And you're literally, the water's up to your nose and you go, fuck you. Put more in this hole. Put it up. I would look at you like you're crazy. And I'm not saying you're wrong for thinking that. I'm just saying, why? And then that's an inherent question. Why do you feel that way? Why do you feel the need for that America would need a stronger military or this funding? And the pro's answer to me was, it makes me feel safe that we're like, and I'm like, but are we though? Because we've been doing that longer than, and we've been attacked just as many times as we've been doing that. And then she had no answer for that.
I don't know. I mean, when you think about the times that we've been attacked on American soil, they're few and far between. And
do you feel safer when like, here's a question to you. This is my point. If I was from France or England or any other country where terrorist attacks like that happen to just as much as they did here, right? Would you think people there feel safer there, or do you think that they come to America and be like, oh my God, America, I'm safe? Do you think think they do?
I think that that's a difficult question to answer, and I'll tell you why.
Why do you think?
Number one, their way of life in general is very different there than it is here. You're trying to govern a much smaller country that is more focused, that they don't have guns. They don't have the same mentality that we have as a country. And so I think just the idea of being in the presence of firearms makes a lot of people uncomfortable. And I mean, I don't necessarily agree with that, but I think that on its own makes people uneasy, especially if they're from a country where they're not allowed to own a firearm. And it also depends on where in the United States they go.
True.
You know, so like there's a lot more room for
countries. We're 50 different countries.
Yeah, exactly.
Governed under one flag. To be honest with ourselves.
What I actually have a big problem with is the fact that the military has more than 70% of its budget unaccounted for.
But I feel like that's the answer to my question isn't get rid of the military or defund the police. Well, the answer to my question is America has this weird thing we do where we're okay with the status quo of something, so you just go let it sit. And when you let something sit, it doesn't just stay the same, it stagnates.
Or it gets worse.
Yeah, that's the problem I have with a lot of what we do here. It's not that the police, like you said before, we have 50-50 in this. The police aren't bad, but I feel like there could be room for reform. And it's not their fault.
There's always room for improvement.
Room for reform. And see, that's the point I'm making. But when I say, if I went on TV and was like, guys, we should reform the police, everybody would look at me like I'm a fucking nut job and I'm like a bad person, right? They'd be like, blah blah blah.
Well, here's the
okay. Yeah. Okay.
When you use the word reform, I think that in general that has a negative connotation to it.
Nowadays it does.
Why? Because of the causes that it's associated with. Because like when you're talking about like, oh, we need this type of reform and that type, it's overused. I think that no. I think that the real meaning of it is lost. And I think that because of how like fragile people are now.
Yeah.
Like if you were to go on TV and say, listen, here's 10 points that I think that we could be doing better to train our police force that would eliminate or help reduce these types of incidents. I think that
I wouldn't even go that far. My literal point is, and if it was just my personal opinion, is that it is within human nature to abuse power. Correct or incorrect?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But mostly true. Mostly,
not saying all, but mostly true. And I'm saying when you put people you give them too much, to a degree, a lot of power. Not too much, but maybe a lot of power. They're expected to deal with too many things outside of their parameters, and they're not trained for. it's gonna, and if these people inherently, the expectation that inherently every police officer is a good person, which is not true. There's going to be room for accidents.
I think
all police. Yeah, some of my best interactions with people have been police. When that guy slammed in my car, the first person that made me sure I was right was the police. My dad's car flipped over with me in it. I was crying out, almost broke my leg. He pulled me out of the car. He was like, "Man, I was twice his size." That little motherfucker was like 4'7". I was like, "How did you make it on the force, Elmo?" He pulled me out of that car and was like, "Are you all right? You trying to do first aid?" And I'm like, "I'm good, bro. I'm good. I just messed my leg up." Ooh, I didn't want to see nothing happen to you. When my tail lights were out, I was coming back from my girlfriend's house. The police officer turned his brights on and drove me home. He was like, "Get those tail lights in the morning, young man."
That's just it.
I felt bad. Yeah,
I think that where it starts is screening. Like
it's part of it. I think they're expected to do too much. That's my thing. You can't. I think it to be judge, jury, executioner on duty, mental health advocate, stop societal unrest. Also have to confirm between domestic disputes with people you know or don't know. And
so let me ask you this. What would you say would be a step in the right direction towards alleviating those responsibilities in an effective way?
In my mind, with the proposed idea that we need more jobs, I think we should make a bigger push towards mental health advocacy and I would separate the police their duties to and delegate them to other new departments that we created.
So, okay, mental health advocate. No, hold on. Yeah. With a mental health advocate, at what point would you say, what would their actual responsibility be? And like, let's say there's a domestic dispute.
I think, for example, there should be a department that directly deals with domestic disputes between children, women, men, women, married couples. And what you do is you have these departments working hand in hand with the police. I would have a department that deals with mental health. I would have a department that deals with homelessness. I would have a department that deals with domestic disputes. And then I would have a police officer on standby with those duties to kind of stand back.
So essentially, okay, go on. You're about to answer my question.
These people are professionally trained to do that job, and they go in the situation and go, blah, 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 blah. Hope you can get blah, blah, blah. And if the situation escalates, then the police are therefore inclined to step in. But
so they're there together, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Not just you're just a mental health guy just randomly goes, because that can lead to any kind of disaster. I think they should work hand in hand. So like, for example, if I call 911 and I give my problem, it should be shot out to a list of different departments. And that department would then be like, "Hey, I'm going to go such and such house. I need an officer there. It seems like it's a mental health. It seems like it's a mental health crisis and domestic dispute. I'm gonna have a domestic dispute officer come, mental health professional come, and I have one officer on standby. And the three of them go there, and they both try to break up the situation, each with their own given duties, what they've been professionally trained for to do, to get the best situation. And like I said, if it escalates, then the police officer then steps in.
That's an interesting take on it.
I think that would at least, and I imagine if you're a cop, right, that takes a lot of pressure off what you're expected to do, right?
Right.
And no more is the fear of this escalating and going left, because and if it does, that's your only job to do that. So you've been professionally trained to know what to do in high escalation, high blood pressure situations. It's not, I don't know how to talk this person down and do this and do this and do this. You're just gonna go, okay, my job is only to do this. Keep these people safe at all costs. That's all you got to do.
Right.
If it turns violent, that's all your job is. You don't have to talk the person down once it escalates that point. And then when it escalates and then you have to do the paperwork for it and it's a discussion, you go, look, it's stated my job is to keep people's lives safe at all costs. At such a point beyond my help, and I had to keep these two professionals safe. I had to do what I had to do. And it would give other people in other departments credence who are not officers to say, because that's one of the problems people have. It's the police officers say, I did nothing wrong. Then all their friends go, he did nothing wrong. And then everybody just goes scot-free. It would give credence to other departments that are not police officers to go, he's right. We were there. He didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah. See, I agree with the idea.
Yeah.
Where I think Where I think it would break down is if I think that the type of people that would apply or pursue the police officer job would generally speaking always be at odds with the type of person that would pursue some sort of counselor position. Because
I think so too.
And that's where it's like, I don't know that enough people with situational awareness to know, okay, this is about to get out of hand. I need to step back and the second line of defense has to come in. I feel like there's a lot of people that always feel like, no, you can always resolve every situation, no matter what, without violence. And it's like,
that's why I still think the police should still hold enough power to like, at the end of the day, in those three, the police should still be the person in charge. And the jurisdiction and the leadership should still go to the officer. He's still the one carrying the weapon. He's still meant to uphold the law. These people are just liaisons there to deal with, take things that he's not. The term, I wouldn't say mentally prepared to handle, because I think they're mentally prepared to handle. That's too much on your plate.
Well, I agree with that. As long as, and see that the other thing too is that like the topic of like body cameras. I feel that's something that I get conflicted about because
why do you feel that way? It's interesting.
On one hand, it protects everybody there. Like if something goes wrong and there's like, oh, why did you shoot this quote unquote unarmed suspect? And then you go to the body cam footage and they're waving a gun in this guy's face. It's no longer hearsay. It's
and I mean, a lot of, I can say on the other side, to play devil's advocate, a lot of, to a degree, for the most part, now that when officers were abusing the law, they got prosecuted. For example, the Tyre Nichols thing that just happened.
Oh yeah. I don't know a ton about it, but like I know that it's like a fucked up situation.
They can't throw them niggas under the jail. So essentially, they forgot.
Well, hold on. Let's come back to that because I want to finish my thought on the other side of why I'm conflicted.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side of that is that if you get pulled over, for example, and they're wearing a body cam, you're getting a ticket.
Yeah. See, but my thing
there's no discretion.
People want the best of both worlds and don't understand that. The law is the law. And people have to be understanding. One of the parts I'm big on, and I understand from my podcast, I be fucking speeding my ass off. But when I do that, I am mentally prepared to understand that if they get me, I'm going to get that ticket. I'm not going to bullshit my way out of the ticket and go, man, fuck it. It is what it is. I did it. But I'm more than willing to take that cost as opposed to being late to work all the time. I'm just not going to drive the team up. It's just never going to happen.
You know, there's another solution.
Leave early?
Leave earlier.
Oh, leave early? I'm black. Black people time. Don't you understand that? Right. Late. I'm joking. Actually, half the time I do leave early. I just like driving fast. It's just
that's fair.
It's my thrill. So I drive Altima, and I'm a single mom. All single moms drive Altimas drive like 100 miles per hour. That's the 10th commandment in the Bible.
Right.
Thou shalt drive Altima and have one kid and drive well over 30 miles above the speed limit. But that's true too. But I don't understand. People want a lot of different things, but people want police officers to be robotic and humanitarian, to be judge, jury, and executioner when it suits them, but also be fair and balanced, to side with all men, be protectors of all men. No, be protectors of all men's interests and all women's interests, while also being a man or a woman. Be understanding, don't always side with the people that hit. It's just so many nuance to situations, and I feel like more level heads would help that situation. Now,
yeah,
and like I said with the Tyre Nichols thing, is that that goes to show me it's not an indictment on police. For me, it's an indictment on people with power, because he's an officer.
Agreed.
He's an officer. His ex-girlfriend left him and went for some other guy. Him and his 5 officer friends, literally were all wearing body cams, found this guy and got him on false charges, and then pepper sprayed and beat him to death, and he died in the hospital after they beat the shit out of him. And they literally said on fucking camera, "Is that the guy we're looking for?" Like you couldn't have made it more obvious. Like, and like, again, and it's not me, like I can make a point about they're black, blah, blah, blah. So no, the niggas gonna get sent to prison. It's all these different nuances, situation, all this, like we can make minutia about different groups are gonna say different things. But my point is that I find that, like, after I saw that study where they were like, they had people play fake prison guards and fake prisoners, and then they were abusing them. I was like, it's just human. It's human nature to treat people worse than you, that you feel are less than you. It just is. And it's nothing.
Right.
It shows the real flaws in your character.
For sure.
Because, everybody, and it's not me a hot take thing. Everybody's not always going to treat their kids nice. Not saying you're going to be abusive, but like, you're not always going to be fair to your kids. Why, daddy? I don't know. Can you leave me alone? I just like got off a 12-hour shift. Can you like just be quiet for a little bit, please?
Just shut the fuck up. I want to sleep.
Yeah, like, but you remember, it's like somebody you abuse your equal. You'd be like, just bro, can you just be quiet? It's
no, yeah, nature. I'd absolutely do that.
I probably would too.
I'd be fucking surprised. I would say that to someone above me too, and I'd be surprised. Like if you would probably do the same.
The thing, I'm trying to play devil's advocate for everybody, but I don't really care about repercussions. Like it could be Lou Ferrigno back when he was in like his prime, and I'd be like, look, bro, shut the fuck up. It is 12 o'clock. Why are you lifting weights and slamming the bitches on the floor? Shut up. Like, and then he could probably like lift me up off my feet. I'm like, oh, you're gonna beat my ass because I'm right? Go on then. Prove it. Prove I'm right. Hit me. So that's just how I argue. But
no, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, but that's the point I'm making with those situations. And I feel like that falls into a lot of line of not just the police, but a lot of different things we do here. Like, a lot of people don't care about other people's health care because you can just go to the hospital and get like, it never fails you until it doesn't. Then you're like, okay, this shit actually matters. Mm-hmm. That's the point. You don't care. We don't care about something until it falls apart. But there's so many times we can reform something when it's not working that we just don't do. And it's literally physical examples of it. Like America has really bad metro transit and road structure. Like the roads here in America are horrendous. And then we don't have, all these other countries have like great metro systems that for some reason we don't have. And yet somehow me saying it'd be great if we had lightning fast transit like Japan, or can we fix these potholes, is like a hot topic. Like everybody agrees with it, and yet somehow it doesn't get done.
You know what? Well,
that's free. That's literally creating jobs.
It's one of those things that, well, the thing is, so here, there's a lot of problems with it. While on the surface, I completely agree. It would be fantastic if we had, better like rail systems.
It would free up the roads.
Absolutely. If we maintained our roads better, it would be great. The thing that I think that a lot of people don't consider, because it's not something that's in most people's purview, is the planning, the money, and the time it takes to do all of those things. Consider how big the United States is.
I'm not saying...
No. I know you're not. Hold on.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Like we all say, oh, well, Japan has this like fucking lightning rail system. Great.
But it's like the size of like...
Right. Like it's the size of yeah, exactly. And it's like we're in the habit of like cherry picking, the best things from other countries and saying, well, we suck because we don't have that. And it's like, I saw a video on snow plowing the other day. And like how I don't know if anybody lives in a climate where snow removal is a thing, but like everybody complains like, oh, it's taking them so fucking long to plow the roads and do this. Like, first of all, where's that snow going to go? That's the first thing. Like, where are you going to put all that snow?
In Home Depot and Walmart parking lots in a giant mountain.
Second of all, when I worked at the PVC plant, one year I plowed the parking lot, right? And I was there for the entire 8-hour day, and this is just a normal fucking parking lot. It wasn't even that big, but like the time that it takes, because you can't do 60 miles an hour with a plow dragging on the ground. You have to do 10, 20 miles an hour if the plow is built for that. And like, that slows you.
Do that shit with a shovel and some like.
Right, but my point, the point is like everybody just likes to complain. Like, this is fucking bullshit. Why isn't it done? It's 2023. Why isn't this done? Everybody likes to complain, but nobody considers the time and cost and manpower to do the things just the way they, as like sluggish as they may be.
I said that earlier, and and that's what I'm saying. I agree with you, because remember I said we were in the habit in America of complaining without providing 100%. Solutions.
Yeah,
and I wasn't saying that to be like, yo, Japan. I one of the things that I hate, don't get me started, is people that go, when fuck America, I'm gonna move to fucking Japan and just be like, it's gonna. Do you really want to work like that hard? Do you really want to live there? The point I'm trying to make with that is that. I'm saying something is better than nothing. I'm not trying to make it like a comparison of the two, like one is better than the other. I'm saying I would like it if we proposed ideas to start something, or at least in the beginning stages of starting something.
Exactly. Now. Like if you're gonna bitch, have like, oh, I'd like to see them do more of X. Like,
yeah.
Like if you're gonna bitch about the healthcare system, be like, oh, it'd be great if they forced insurance companies to lower their fucking rates. Or something. Even if like it's something that I don't agree with, but you're like, listen, this is what I think the path forward should start with, and here's why. Even if I don't agree with you, at least it's the starting point for a conversation. It's not just like it is what it is.
And see, we're roping it. It's funny how these all have like circle effect conversations. That's literally the same conversation I was trying to get to you with the Mr. Beast thing. Because he's like, it's weird that we have people in America that can see. I guess his term blindness. I actually know what a cataract is. My mom has been doing cataracts for 35 years. I know what a cataract is. I can literally probably do it myself. The amount of videos she showed me of people's eyes. It doesn't even bother me by this point anymore. It's the most disgusting
freaks
thing.
Me the fuck out.
It at this point, my friend, I was like you when I was 8. It just kept getting shoved in my face. It is what it is. I can't. It's biased by this point, but. It's literally, my mom said she could do it in 5 minutes with her eyes blindfolded. Like, it's just that easy.
Yeah.
And it's an easily curable disease that we can do. But we go, when you don't got the insurance rates for that, sorry, bucko. Figure the fuck, you just better keep working that job and no driving. And Mr. Beast is like, it's weird so he just did 1,000 random people, and some people he gave more to. He's like, you were hurting for money, so I gave you 10,000. You said, because of your cataracts, you can't drive, so I got you a Tesla. And literally, majority of people were on that shit complaining, like, it's weird how celebrities are exploiting people for views, or it's weird how he's doing this, and you should let the government take care of it. And that's the point I was trying to get to. Like I was going to say, is that it's not that I'm saying, yeah, it's weird he has a camera in people's faces. That's how he gets the money to do this shit. That's neither here nor there. That's a conversation.
Yeah, like that's a
different question. He didn't videotape all 1,000 people. He probably went to them and was like, do you want to be in a video? And out of 1,000, he probably got like 6 or 7. And they were like, let's be in a video.
Right.
Easy enough. And he asked them, full disclosure, we're going to be in a video, you're blah, 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 blah. Now, like I said, the conversation about exploiting people for views, that's neither here nor there. The conversation about healthcare, that's neither here nor there. It's literally helping people see again, and y'all still propose complaints, but without providing solutions. That's the problem I'm having. It's not the complaining and saying, he blah, blah, blah. Anybody can complain, but few people provide. What would you do? How would you help these people? Well, I don't know, but what he's doing is wrong. Literally, the motherfucker is curing vision. Like, what?
Yeah, he's an interesting guy, too.
Whether you think he's an asshole or not, like, he's helping people see. Like, I don't know what more.
But, so, here's the thing. For someone like him, and we can end on this one, but for someone like him to not be videotaped, like his whole business is putting videos out on YouTube, entertaining people. So everybody that interacts with him in that capacity knows they're going to have at least a percentage of a chance of they're going to be on one of his videos, right? Mm-hmm. And because of that, because of the fact that he is an ultra successful YouTuber, he has a lot of fucking money. And if he chooses to say, okay, I've got a lot of fucking money and I'm going to take that money and I'm going to then do something good with it. The catch is I'm also going to use the good that I'm doing to generate more money to do more stuff. Like, I'm not sure that.
But yet, but yet y'all will sit there and watch a movie where a rich guy beats the shit out of fucking criminals with money he gets and go, that's right. That's the real hero.
Yeah.
And it's literally a motherfucker in real life getting money and not beating the dog shit out of criminals, funding it back into the system and funneling like a capitalist society should, and just saying, look, to do this, I need to videotape some of you. Yeah. Not all of you, some of you. And some people say, you know what, I'm okay with being videotaped and telling my story. I like to talk to people on camera. Cool, come on. And he talks to them. I'm not sure it's always goes well, or he's like an angel, or he's a great person. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that's the problem I'm having with a lot of, and this is my critique of the liberal people too. This is my critique of liberal. Because some people kind of do this too, but it's really a lot of liberal people. Y'all motherfuckers will complain till you are blue in the fucking face and provide no solution, but complain. Like literally the wind from middle of America is probably from liberal people complaining. It is so fucking annoying to just complain about everything, but like just provide solutions. Nope, that's wrong. Like,
that's racist.
You voted for Trump.
I did.
But I can complain. When I complain, I'm going, I don't like this. Why don't you like this? Well, I don't think this is right. Well, what would you do? Blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. We can go over all
100%.
Long conversation. Yeah, but that's the point I'm making is don't just be like, well, why don't you like him? I don't like him. Well, why not? Well, he did this. What would you do? I don't know. He's just racist and he's misogynist. Like stop. Right. Stop. Make it be the solution.
You know what was interesting about Trump?
Annoying. I hate that.
What I think is interesting about Trump, and this is what I'm going to leave. Oh, before I say this, what day did we decide we were going live on our official Bird Brains podcast? It was the 19th.
We're going to officially start doing the Bird Brains podcast.
So everybody that's watching, anybody that watches the VOD, as of February 19th, 2023, we will be going live on the Bird Brains. We are the Bird Brains Twitch channel.
And officially from this point onward, I'm going to start actually putting our shit on YouTube too. So I'm going to clean up my act. This is the last freeform, loose mouth podcast. So if you like the craft,
we'll see what happens.
I'm going to try to tailor I'm going to try to clean up my act like Captain Planet taught me.
So I think that people's biggest problem with Trump was the fact that he said the things out loud that everybody else was thinking in a lot of ways. He was what everybody thought of politicians, but he was outwardly that way. He didn't just keep it quiet. He was just like
Dave Chappelle made a joke about that. Yeah, like when that monologue, he was like, the level of no transparency is what people appreciated. And to a degree, that's what. And then for me to complain, I said that earlier. Is like I don't mind America being the way it is, but just don't be transparent. My thing is that I fundamentally don't like him as a human. Like I just don't like kind of people
that's
like
fine.
him. And it's not like a hatred thing. I just think he's like a rich asshole, and I kind of dealt with rich assholes in my life.
To an extent, he is.
Yeah,
let's call it what it is.
I'm not like he's mean to. He's like a misogynist fucker. He's rich, but I mean he's afforded himself to be. But I can't sit there and be like, yo, Trump is a bad person, but my man Tate though, like they're the same fucking person. One's just old and one's just young. Like it's the same shit.
There's anybody in that arena.
Yeah, they're all the same.
They're all the same. It's just a matter of how hard they try to hide it.
And that, my friend, is the nature of the human race.
And I think today's message should be a good person.
Oh, I was going to say Captain Planet, he's our hero. He's going to take them polluters and turn them to zero. I still remember that whole beginning part. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching, everybody.
Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for hanging out.
Thank you. Peace.